Welcome back to Monster Monday, the show where we lovingly stress ourselves out about haunted houses and horror events. I'm Ray, and if you're listening to this on a bright sunny day, I'm sorry in advance because we're about to talk about some beautifully dark stuff.
I'm Mia, and yeah, I don't know why we do this to ourselves, but I also can't stop. And today's topic is huge. Halloween Horror Nights news, and also a totally separate but related horror thing happening in Vegas.
Right? So, main course first. Halloween Horror Nights is bringing in Hellraiser. Like not Hellraiser vibes. Actual Hellraiser. The first three movies. The Puzzle Box. The Cenobites. Pinhead. The whole deal.
Which is wild because Hellraiser is one of those franchises that feels, I don't know, almost too intense to turn into a walk-through haunted house. Like it's not just jump scares, it's dread, it's body horror, it's this weird philosophy of pain and desire that makes you go, wait, do I need therapy after this?
Exactly. And for anyone who's somehow missed Hellraiser over the years, the basic hook is this. There's this puzzle box, the lament configuration, and if you solve it, you basically open a doorway to another dimension.
And what's waiting on the other side is not like a fun Narnia situation. It's the Cenobites. Ritual torture beings. Leather, hooks, chains, and their leader is Pinhead, who is iconic in a way that's hard to explain to someone who hasn't seen it.
Pinhead is one of those horror characters where you hear the voice and you're like, oh no. And speaking of the voice, they're doing something pretty cool. Doug Bradley, the actor who played Pinhead, is coming back to voice the character for the haunted houses.
That makes such a difference, honestly. Like when an attraction gets the original actor involved, it's immediately more legit. Because you can have an amazing costume, but if the voice is off, your brain notices.
Totally. And this isn't just happening in one place. It's both coasts, Universal Orlando and Universal Studios Hollywood. Different star dates, but both are getting the Hellraiser haunted house experience.
Okay, let's talk dates so people can actually plan their chaos. Orlando starts on Friday, August 28th, and runs select nights through Sunday, November 1st.
And Hollywood kicks off Thursday, September 3rd, also running select nights through November 1st. So basically late summer into Halloween season, and then poof, it's over, and we all have to go back to normal life like we didn't just spend weeks being chased by monsters.
I never go back to normal. I become a person who flinches at fog machines for a month.
That's fair. So the haunted house itself is pulling from the first three movies, Hellraiser, Hellbound, Hellraiser 2, and Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth.
Which is really smart because those first three give you a lot of distinct settings. Like you get the original, grimy, intimate horror of the first one, and then you get the expanded mythology and surreal nightmare stuff from the second, and then the third gets chaotic, more actiony, more things are popping off.
Yeah, it's like they're building a greatest hits nightmare, but with a storyline you physically walk through. And the way they're framing it is that you, the guest, basically step into the puzzle box.
That is such a good premise for a haunted house because it immediately puts the blame on you. Like you did this, you solved the thing, you opened the door, now deal with it.
And then, once you're inside, you're moving through key moments and locations from the films. One of the big ones they're teasing is the attic in Frank Cotton's family home. Which, if you know, you know. That's a nasty little corner of Hellraiser history.
Even thinking about that attic makes me want to take a shower. And then they mention the Chonard Institute. That's from the second movie, right? The place that feels like a creepy hospital, but also not. Like it's medically themed nightmare fuel.
Yes, and it fits the vibe of the box, luring you in with promises. That's the thing about Hellraiser that's different from a lot of slashers. It's not just a killer is after you. It's more like temptation, curiosity. You touch the wrong object, and now reality itself is rearranging around you.
Right, it's like horror mixed with a cautionary tale about wanting more. More sensation, more experience, more whatever. And then you get way more than you bargained for.
And the whole journey is supposed to end up in the labyrinth. Like the heart of it. That place where Pinhead and the Cenobites are basically waiting to claim new souls.
So in other words, the haunted house is like, welcome, come on in. Now you're trapped forever. Which is comforting.
It's a nice seasonal activity. You know, like apple picking, but with torment.
Okay, real talk though. Hellraiser at Halloween Horror Nights feels like a big deal because the franchise is genuinely influential. Like it's been around since 1987, and it changed what supernatural horror could look like.
Yeah, it wasn't just monsters lurking in shadows. It was psychological and extreme at the same time. And it had this almost poetic philosophical angle, which sounds silly until you watch it and realize, no, it's actually kind of obsessed with the boundary between pain and pleasure.
And that makes it perfect for a haunted house where you're supposed to feel conflicted. Like you want to see what's next, but you also want to run out of the exit.
Exactly. Now, something else people always ask about, merch. Because Halloween Horror Nights merch is basically a sport.
It is. People plan it. People budget. People trade like it's a stock market.
So they've got limited release Hellraiser merch tied to the haunted house. A t-shirt and a pinhead acrylic figure. And the figure can be added to this separately sold Infernal Carnival collectible display.
So it's like, here's the piece. Now buy the thing that lets you display the piece. Classic theme park logic. I respect it and fear it.
And if you're not at the parks, there's also an online drop. It's launching at 9 a.m. Pacific on shopuniversal.com. And I'm just going to say, if you want it, don't be casual about it. Limited stuff disappears fast.
Yeah, if you're the type who's like, I'll check at lunch, no you won't. It'll be gone. You'll be on a resale site saying, why is this $90?
Also, Universal is basically teasing that more Halloween Horror Nights announcements are coming. Like more haunted houses, more event details, which is normal, but still, it's that fun period where the rumor mill just spins at maximum speed.
And everyone becomes a detective. This permit means a scare zone. This blurry photo means a facade. It's chaos, and I love it.
Now, before we pivot to the Vegas thing, one more practical piece. Tickets are on sale. And Orlando has those frequent Fear Pass options coming, which basically means if you want to go multiple nights, there are different tiers.
Yeah, the names are kind of adorable in a menacing way. Rush of Fear, Frequent Fear Plus, Ultimate Fear. Like, how scared would you like to be? Regular, extra, or do you live here?
And if you want details or to buy tickets, the main hub is HalloweenHorrorNights.com.
Okay, now we need to talk about the other big horror news, because it's not Halloween Horror Nights, but it's Universal, and it is absolutely for horror people.
Universal Horror Unleashed in Las Vegas. And they're doing Resident Evil. Like, fully stepping into the world of Raccoon City.
That sentence alone is dangerous. Because Resident Evil is one of those franchises where you think, oh cool, zombies, and then suddenly you remember, wait, this is also corporate biohorror, monsters, mutated everything, and a lot of running.
So this is being framed like a summer horror experience, and it runs July 9th through August 30th, 2026. That's the window they're giving.
Which gives people time to plan a trip, and possibly train cardio. Because if you don't feel like sprinting the whole time, are you even in Resident Evil?
It's described as immersive and interactive. So not just walk through and watch stuff. They're promising puzzles, characters, and big action moments. Plus you're dealing with the undead.
I love that they're leaning into the game feel. Like, puzzles are so Resident Evil. The franchise is basically find a key shaped like a weird animal, solve a riddle, open a door, and then instantly regret it.
And they've structured it as 6 zones inside the venue, which makes it sound like you're progressing through a mission.
Okay, walk me through it because I saw the zone names and I was like, this is actually pretty cinematic.
So Zone 1 is Arrival. You're basically welcomed in with a beat-up, Welcome to Raccoon City sign, and the vibe is immediate emergency. Flashing lights, police trying to manage the outbreak, which, as Resident Evil fans know, good luck with that.
I love that as an opening because it puts you in the story instantly. You're not easing into it. You're like, oh, the city is already falling apart.
Then Zone 2 is Mission. You arrive at the Raccoon City Police Department, and that's where you're doing interactive puzzles. Like you're trying to contain the outbreak, solve things, move the story forward.
The RPD is such a fan-favorite setting. It's iconic. It's also terrifying because it's supposed to be safe, and it never is.
Then you hit Zone 3, Infection. And this is basically the worst part because it's described as the heart of the infected area, quarantined, with the last citizens turned into, zombies.
So we're going from oh no to oh no.
Pretty much. And they're teasing familiar characters showing up, like Ada Wong. So you're not just seeing random survivors, you're seeing people fans actually know.
Ada showing up is such a power move, because she's always like Is she helping? Is she not? You can't trust anything.
Then Zone 4 is combat, which is where they're saying you'll come face-to-face with major characters like Claire Redfield, Jill Valentine, and Leon S. Kennedy.
Okay, that's huge. Those three are basically the core of Resident Evil hero energy.
And it sounds like this area is about the action moments, like you're in the middle of battles between the heroes, zombies, and the bigger villains.
Also, they mention you can take photos and interact with the characters after, which is hilarious because imagine taking a friendly photo with Leon while there are zombies like 10 feet away.
That's the modern theme park way. Terrifying set piece, then souvenir photo.
Okay, what's Zone 5?
Zone 5 is escape. Final stretch energy. You're trying to survive the last mission.
That's where they're going to get people, because everyone relaxes too early. You're like, we made it, and then the experience is like, did you though?
And then Zone 6 is aftermath. And this is such a fun twist. You end up inside Umbrella Corporation, and there's themed food and cocktails for purchase inspired by the T-virus and mutations.
I'm sorry, but the idea of sipping a cute-themed drink after surviving zombies while standing in an umbrella setting is so absurdly perfect.
And they're still keeping the tension there, because they're like, you never know who's going to pop out around the corner. So even when you're eating, you're not fully safe.
As it should be. Horror snack time should come with consequences.
Also worth noting, Resident Evil is included with general admission to Universal Horror Unleashed, at least how they're describing it. And for info, UniversalHorrorUnleashed.com is the main site, plus they're on all the usual social platforms.
So this episode is basically, if you like your horror elegant and cursed, go do Hellraiser at Halloween Horror Nights. And if you like your horror with puzzles, action, and zombies, start looking at Vegas for Resident Evil.
And if you like both, well, your calendar is about to become a haunted document.
Can we just appreciate how different these two experiences are, though? Hellraiser is like existential. It's temptation and suffering and this otherworldly labyrinth vibe.
And Resident Evil is more like, we have a mission, the city is collapsing, the corporation did it. Here's an emergency flashlight. Good luck.
I will say, Hellraiser at HHN sounds like it could be one of those houses people talk about for years. Like, remember when they did that scene? Because the imagery from those movies is so specific.
Yeah, and Halloween Horror Nights is really good at building these detailed environments where you feel like you're stepping into film, not just walking past props. So if they nail the transitions from the human world into the puzzle box dimension, that could be insane.
Also, Doug Bradley's voice. That's such a big ingredient. Because Pinhead isn't just scary looking. He's calm. He's commanding. He makes it feel inevitable.
Like you're not being chased, you're being claimed.
Ugh, hate that. Love that. Both.
So, quick recap for anyone who's like, wait, what did they say? Hellraiser haunted houses are coming to Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando and Hollywood, inspired by the first 3 Hellraiser films, with Doug Bradley returning as the voice of Pinhead.
Orlando runs select nights starting August 28th through November 1st. Hollywood runs select nights starting September 3rd through November 1st. Tickets are on sale, more details are supposed to drop later, and there's limited Hellraiser merch, including a shirt and a Pinhead acrylic figure.
And then Universal Horror Unleashed in Las Vegas is doing a Resident Evil experience running July 9th through August 30th, 2026, with 6 zones from arrival all the way to aftermath, including puzzles at the police department, infected areas, combat with iconic heroes, and umbrella-themed food and drinks.
So, which one are you doing first if you had to pick?
Oh no, a forced choice. I think I do Hellraiser first because I want to see how they translate that mythology into a physical haunted house. Like, how do you make the puzzle box dimension feel real in a line-moving attraction?
Fair. I'd probably do Resident Evil first because I'm a sucker for interactive puzzles, and also I want to see the characters. Like, if I can stand near Jill Valentine and then immediately get chased by zombies, that's kind of my brand.
That's extremely your brand. And honestly, either way we win. Horror fans are being fed.
Yeah, and our sleep schedules lose.
That's the Monster Monday promise. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode. If you're planning a trip to Halloween Horror Nights, keep an eye on the official site for the next haunted house announcements, because you know there's more coming.
And if Vegas is on your radar, go check out Universal Horror Unleashed updates too, because that Resident Evil setup sounds like it's going to be a full-on event, not just a quick walkthrough.
If you like this episode, share it with a friend who says they don't get haunted houses, but mysteriously always wants to see the photos afterward.
We all know that person, and we love them. From a safe distance.
We'll be back next Monday with more monsters, more mayhem, and more reasons to check the closets before bed. Until then, stay spooky.
And remember, if someone hands you a puzzle box, maybe just don't.